After we finish our trimming, we're going to go ahead and we are going to come in with our cuticle pusher or our metal pusher. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these. This is a cuticle pusher as well as a C-curve tool, as you guys could see. This C-curve tool is normally used for sculptured nails or extensions. In this case, we are going to be using tips today. I will be showing basic tip application. So we will be going down some tips, no sculpture. So in this case, what we're going to basically come do is, this one is really sharp. So when we come into very gently scrape that dead cuticle tissue off of the dead nail plate here. Now, as we are very gently kind of pushing or exposing that upwards, the proper motion here is you hold the metal pusher or the cuticle pusher as almost like if I was holding a pencil. So when we are coming in, we are basically coming in small, gentle circles around that cuticle. Remember, not too much pressure, as it can, hurt the client or make it feel uncomfortable. So as we are coming along, we are very gently just coming and pushing that dead cuticle tissue. After pushing cuticle tissue here very carefully, we are going to come with our cuticle nipper and trim that cuticle. Remember, we are only trimming dead cuticle, not live cuticle. So this is where we have to really understand the difference between what we are actually cutting and what we are not cutting. Now, during this process, besides getting all of the top cuticle portion of this, pushed up, a lot of times we focus only on this top area here. You want to make sure that you are actually focusing on the side walls as well, which is the side ridges on your nail. When pulling gently the skin back, you will see that as I do this motion, we also have some clients will have cuticle on the side walls here. For those of you who are in nail school, remember, we need to know all of these terms. I normally like to use proper nail terminology just because I was a nail instructor, and it's just proper and professional. But if you're just doing this for a hobby, the more you know, the more you're worth, as I always used to tell my students. Guys, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move over to the cuticle nipping part. In this case, I'm using cuticle nippers that are brand Cobalt 22 and Twine. These are pretty expensive, about I would say $30 and up. They're specifically from France, and you want to make sure that you have the proper cuticle nippers, as these are key to proper adhesion. When you guys have your cuticle nippers, one of the things I highly recommend, especially if you guys are starting out, if you notice the jaw size on these nippers, I don't know how close I could get that, but later we will be comparing the difference between a full length jaw, or this one specifically is about a 1/4 jaw, which brings it to about 3 to 4 millimeters in length. And with these cuticle nippers, what I really like about them is that as we are coming around to clean up or to cut any dead cuticle, it allows me to get into the little areas where sometimes with the longer cuticle jaw size, in that case, sometimes it's harder to get into the small crevices, especially if your client does have smaller fingers. So in this case, when we are doing the cuticle nipping portion of it, notice how I'm using one hand here. So what we do is we come in and we pull the skin. We ensure that we're pulling the skin back to expose that dead cuticle tissue. And then from there, I will be coming in and very gently, almost using this motion here, where I'm coming in with the base of my cuticle nipper. I'm lifting the base, and then I will lift the point. You have to ensure that your nippers are extremely sharp. If they are not sharp, what will happen is you will actually pull the dead cuticle tissue, and these are actually starting to get a bit dull. They've been pretty dull here. We got to get some new instruments here. And so in this case, you want to make sure, like I said, that you keep your nail nippers, cuticle nippers, nice and sharp. It is not easy to do this while I am recording, but hopefully you guys get the idea. As far as, I'm also going to cut a little hangnail that I have here. Like I said, I actually haven't done my nails in quite a bit of time. I've been suffering from my lupus flares, which basically restricts me from doing absolutely everything on a day-to-day basis. So anyways, that's why my hands look a little bit beat up here. So that's why we are coming in with a lovely set today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up all of my cuticle here. So I know sometimes it is very hard to distinguish, again, where we are trimming. And so I normally like to guide myself little by little to be able to do this. So that way I can accurately see exactly where I'm trimming. And if I need to trim a little bit more, I can always come in from a specific angle here and trim more if needed. We are still going to come in and we're going to remove the shine off the nail in a second. So one of the things I really like to do is I like to do this portion first. That way, once we remove the shine of the natural nail, we don't have to come back in and buff twice. This basically cuts out a step. And if I happen to miss any residue of that dead cuticle tissue, what happens is, one, I will get a lot of lifting on my sets. So I want to make sure that after this step, I'm going to come in and buff my natural nail plate to just simply remove that shine. And again, we are going to be using a 240 grit buffer. Okay, so this is what we will be using to remove the shine of the nail. So coming here, we've already trimmed our cuticle. We're going to go ahead and we are basically going to hold our buffer, and we are going to very gently come in and use the corners to gently get into the sidewall crevices. That way you're able, again, like I said, to clean up all that nail nice and clean here. Sorry. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and basically complete this step on all 5. Now remember, if you guys are nail techs to where you are doing this for income, remember, this is part you want to make sure that you are being very quick on. I'm trying to take my time to show you technique. But remember, time is money. So when it comes to the clean cut file, the preparation work, you normally want that to be about no more than 3 to 5 minutes. That way you have plenty of time for the full set itself, and you don't waste a lot of time on the nail tip on. So we're going to go ahead at the same time. I like to file the free edge. You always want to go ahead and file the free edge. And remember, the proper way to file the free edge, depending on the state you're on. Again, I'm in California. One of the proper ways that we file here is outside to center, and then one down. That way the ridges on the nails are not... that way the ridges on that way the free edge on the nail is not scratching, leaving uneven edges. Now, eventually we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about what best technique. I highly recommend learning and training with an electric file, as this is what will actually accelerate your technique using a sanding band. My best recommendation is using a zebra sanding band. About depending on the technique, but it can range anywhere from 240 to 180, so medium or fine, in a sanding band. Again, that one is not like these. Okay, these are anytime that they have deep divots or grooves, normally they are not for natural nails. So please, before you guys use these bits, because I know that when we buy our electric files, it already comes with tons of bits. So sometimes it comes with no instructions. So make sure we will be doing a follow-up on which bits to use for what service. But anywho, we are done prepping our nails. Once they get to this point, you cannot touch them. If I touch them, I will put oils in the nail, which will cause lifting. So in this case, we are going to cleanse with alcohol one last time, and we will be ready to apply or glue down our tips. We will have a different session on the type of tips, as those also exist in many, many forms. Today, we will be actually using a no C-curve tips. As they are all my favorite. We will talk about pros and cons of some of these and the type of nail bed, whether it's ideal for that type of nail bed or not. When it comes to different systems, different tips, you got to make sure that we understand compatible with our clients.